Another thing we're going to have to know how to do this semester are deal with these prefixes that come before our units of measurement. So these are the main ones that you need to know: mega, kilo, centi, milli, micro, and nano. These are the words. Okay, so you might see it written as a kilometer, or you might see like a millisecond or a nanometer or something like that. This is what you multiply as a power of 10 to convert between the normal unit and this mega or something. And then this is the abbreviation that shows up in front of the description of the unit. Okay, that's all super complicated. Let's look at some examples. So 1 kilometer. So the K is this part. The M here is just for meter. So the unit that we're dealing with is meters. So 1 kilometer is 10 to the 3 meters. Okay, this M is not the same as that one. Let's do another one. 1 centimeter. Okay, so there's the C is 1 times 10 to the minus 2 meters, and so on. So there's our millimeter, our micrometer, our micrometer, micrometer, um, and nanometer. Okay, so these are the general ones we need to know. You don't have to memorize this. You can have all this written down on your note card. In general, when we come to a quiz, if you haven't seen numbers like this on the homeworks and things, you don't really need to worry that I'm suddenly going to be like, oh, it's this many, microseconds or whatever. Um, but there's certain homework problems that do involve these types of things, so you'll be used to it before a quiz. So it's not like these are just going to show up out of nowhere. Here's my little joke. So in the future, someday I want to get a standard size poodle and a toy poodle that match. And my big dog, I would name this number, which is not on our list that you have to know. This is tera. You probably have heard of that because of a terabyte, right? Kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, that's not on here. That's 10 to the 9. 10 to the 12 is terabyte. So this dog I would name Tera. And this dog I would name Pico because Tera and Pico are just cute names for dogs. But the physics dork part of it is that this represents Tera and this is a pico, like a picometer is 10 to the minus 12. Anyway, okay, real quick, what do these three countries have in common? My favorite answer to that is they're all red. But also, these are the only countries that have not officially adopted SI units. So SI units are the International System of Units. These are the ones we're going to use in class. We're not using miles. We're not using inches or feet. All of our time is going to be measured in seconds. That means any equation where we have time in it, you need to put that time in seconds. We're going to measure mass in kilograms. That's related to pounds, but not the same thing as pounds because pounds is not measuring a mass, it's measuring a weight. And the length measurement we're going to use is meters, not inches, not miles, not feet. You will never have to convert between inches or things like that and meters. Okay, you will have to convert between centimeters and meters or kilometers and meters or something like that. So let's practice. Here's a practice of a very simple unit conversion. I'm going to show you the way I do it, and then that's it. So press pause, try to work through this on your own. And here's how I do it. I like to first write down just an equation just so I don't get things confused. I write down 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer, or maybe I write, 1 kilometer is 10 to the 3 meters, something like that, just so I have it written down and I can look at it and be like, did I get that the right way? Because I don't want to write 1 meter is 1,000 kilometers, right? That's the backwards way. So I write it down, I look at it. Yeah, okay. Because I know how to convert between kilometers and meters, and I know how to convert between meters and millimeters. So then I write another one for the meters and the millimeters. Make sure I got that right. Looks good. Once I have these correct, then I'm in good shape. So I'm going to start with my 534 kilometers. I'm going to convert between kilometers and meters. I'm going to put one of these on top of the other one. I'll put the kilometers on the bottom because that way these units will cancel. So I put the 1,000 meters on top, the 1 kilometer on the bottom, and that lets me cancel my kilometers. The math I would do is 534 times 1,000. My answer would be in meters, but I don't want it to be in meters. I want it to be in millimeters, so I'm going to multiply by one more factor. In this case, I'll put the 1 meter on the bottom and the 1,000 millimeters on top. That way then my meters can cancel. And now the math I do is 534 times 1,000 times 1,000, and my answer will be in millimeters. And here it is in scientific notation. Let's do one more. How long in days is 10 to the 13 microseconds? So press pause, try to work through that on your own. So here I've just written out a few conversions. 1 day is 24 hours, 1 hour is 60 minutes, 1 minute is 60 seconds, and 1 second is 1 times 10 to the 6 microseconds. You could also write 1 microsecond is 1 times 10 to the minus 6 seconds. Once I have these all written down, I'm just going to double check that I didn't get anything wrong. And now I can kind of go through. I'm starting with the microseconds. So I'm going to use this conversion first. I want to put this part on the bottom so it cancels. This part goes on top. Then I simply go through with each of these, figure out which one goes on the bottom, which one goes on the top, based on the fact that I'm trying to cancel certain ones and I want to end up with my answer in days. So all of these cancel, these cancel, these cancel, these cancel, and the only units I end up with are days. The math that I would do is 10 to the 13 divided by 1 times 10 to the 6, divided by 60, divided by 60, divided by 24, and I get 116 days.